You know, I never thought I'd be making a video about snoring of all things. But here we are. Because sometimes the smallest problems can become the biggest issues in a relationship. For Tom and Martha, a couple married for 37 years, it wasn't financial troubles or health scares that nearly tore them apart. It was snoring. Simple, frustrating, relentless snoring. I loved my wife, but I couldn't stand sleeping in the same room with her anymore, Tom told me, his voice heavy with guilt. After 4 decades together, we were sleeping in separate bedrooms. And honestly, I was starting to wonder if this was how our golden years were meant to be spent apart. This is their story. And if you or someone you love is dealing with snoring that's affecting your relationship, your health, or your quality of life, I hope you'll stay with me. Let's be honest, snoring isn't exactly a romantic topic. It's not something couples typically discuss before getting married. You don't see it in the wedding vows, for better, for worse, for louder, for quieter. But for many couples, especially as they age, snoring becomes an unexpected third party in the relationship. Tom and Martha had been high school sweethearts. They'd built a life together in Minnesota, raised 3 children, and were finally enjoying retirement. They had plans to travel, to spend time with grandkids, to enjoy the freedom they'd earned after decades of hard work. But about 2 years into retirement, Martha's snoring became impossible to ignore. It wasn't just a gentle rumble, Tom explained to me over coffee. It was like a freight train. I'd nudge her and it would stop for maybe 30 seconds. Then it would start right back up again. I wasn't getting any sleep. I was cranky all the time. I started dreading bedtime. Martha would laugh it off at first. He's exaggerating, she'd tell friends. But deep down, she knew something wasn't right. She'd wake up with headaches, feeling unrested despite sleeping for 8 or 9 hours. Her throat was often sore, her mouth dry. For many of you watching this might sound painfully familiar. Studies show that nearly 45% of adults snore occasionally, while 25% are habitual snorers. And that percentage increases significantly with age. But here's what many people don't realize: snoring isn't just annoying. It can be a symptom of something much more serious. Martha's story took a turn when their daughter came to visit for a week. She slept in the guest room next to Martha's new bedroom. "Mom, you need to see a doctor," she insisted after just 2 nights. "This isn't normal snoring. You actually stop breathing sometimes. I was watching you and you'd stop breathing for like 10 seconds, then gasp and start again." That observation changed everything. Because what their daughter had witnessed weren't just loud snores, they were potential episodes of sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a serious sleep disorder where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. It affects more than 18 million American adults, and many seniors don't realize they have it. The danger is that each time breathing stops, oxygen levels in the blood drop, triggering the brain to partially wake up to restart breathing. This pattern can repeat dozens or even hundreds of times a night, preventing deep, restorative sleep and putting strain on the cardiovascular system. For Martha, the idea that she might have a medical condition rather than just an annoying habit was both frightening and, in a strange way, relieving. It meant this wasn't just about being inconsiderate to Tom. It wasn't something she was doing on purpose. It was something that could potentially be treated. I finally made an appointment with my doctor, Martha told me. And honestly, I was embarrassed. I thought she'd tell me to lose weight or stop sleeping on my back. I didn't expect her to take it as seriously as she did, but her doctor did take it seriously. Very seriously. Martha's primary care physician referred her to a sleep specialist immediately. The specialist recommended a sleep study, a test where Martha would sleep overnight in a lab while machines monitored her breathing patterns, brain waves, heart rate, and oxygen levels. I was nervous about it, Martha admitted. The idea of sleeping in a strange place with wires attached to me sounded awful. But Tom drove me there and waited until I was settled in. He told me this could be the first step toward us sharing a bedroom again. That's what gave me courage. The sleep study results were clear. Martha had moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea. During the 7-hour study, she had stopped breathing completely more than 187 times. Some of these episodes lasted nearly 30 seconds. When the doctor showed me the results, I was shocked, Martha said. He explained that each time I stopped breathing, my oxygen levels would drop and my heart would work harder. He said it was like someone was gently choking me multiple times every hour all night long. The specialist explained that untreated sleep apnea isn't just disruptive to sleep, it's linked to serious health problems including high blood pressure, heart disease and heart attacks, stroke, type 2 diabetes, depression, and even cognitive decline. For a retired couple looking forward to an active lifestyle, these risks were sobering. The doctor looked me straight in the eye, Tom recalled, and said, "This isn't just about snoring anymore. This is about your wife's health and longevity." That hit me hard. I realized I'd been thinking about the snoring as an inconvenience to me, not as a health risk to the woman I love. Before we talk about the treatment Martha tried, I want to pause and acknowledge something important. The emotional impact of sleep issues on a relationship is real, and it's rarely discussed openly. For Tom, there was guilt. Guilt about being annoyed by something his wife couldn't control. Guilt about sleeping in another room. Guilt about sometimes feeling resentment toward the person he loved most in the world. "I felt like a terrible husband," he confessed. Here was my wife potentially facing serious health issues, and all I could think about was how her snoring was bothering me. I didn't want to be that person, but sleep deprivation does things to your mind. For Martha, there was shame. Shame about a bodily function she couldn't control. Shame about driving her husband from their shared bed. Shame about not seeking help sooner. "I felt so unattractive," she told me, her voice cracking slightly. What kind of wife drives her husband to another bedroom? I started wondering if this was the beginning of the end for us. Would we just live like roommates now? Would intimacy just fade away? This is the reality for many couples dealing with sleep apnea and chronic snoring. It's not just about the physical symptoms, it's about what those symptoms do to the relationship. The distance they create. The resentment that can build. The intimacy that can be lost. And for many retired couples, this comes at precisely the time when they should be enjoying their relationship the most. When the kids are grown, when work pressures are gone, when they finally have time for each other. "We'd waited our whole lives to have this time together," Tom said. "And instead of enjoying it, we were drifting apart over something as seemingly trivial as snoring." But sometimes the darkest moment comes right before the breakthrough. After Martha's diagnosis, her sleep specialist recommended a CPAP machine. CPAP stands for Continuous Positive Airway Pressure. It's a device that delivers a constant flow of air through a mask worn during sleep, keeping the airway open and preventing the stops and starts of sleep apnea. "I remember when they first showed it to me," Martha laughed. "I thought, there is no way I'm wearing that contraption to bed. It looked like something from a science fiction movie." This is a common reaction. Studies show that while CPAP is highly effective, compliance rates can be low, between 30 and 60%. Many people find the mask uncomfortable, the noise disruptive, or the whole concept too medicalized for the intimate setting of a bedroom. Martha was no exception. "The first night was terrible," she admitted. "The mask felt claustrophobic. The air pressure felt strange. I kept taking it off in the middle of the night. I called the doctor the next day and said, this isn't going to work for me, but her doctor encouraged her to give it more time." He explained that there were different types of masks: full face masks, nasal pillows that just fit under the nostrils. There were machines with ramp-up features that start with lower pressure and gradually increase it as you fall asleep. There were even machines that could automatically adjust the pressure throughout the night based on your needs. He told me something that really stuck with me, Martha said. He said this isn't just about stopping the snoring. This is about giving you back the oxygen your brain and heart have been missing every night for years. This is about letting you truly rest for the first time in a long time. With that perspective, Martha decided to try again. She worked with a respiratory therapist who helped her find a mask that fit properly, a nasal mask that didn't cover her mouth and felt less restrictive. The therapist also showed her how to adjust the straps properly, how to use the ramp-up feature, and even how to add a small amount of heated humidity to make the air more comfortable. It wasn't an instant fix, she told me. It took about 2 weeks before I could sleep through the night with it. But once I got used to it, well, that's when things started to change. 3 weeks after starting CPAP therapy, Martha noticed something remarkable. She woke up without a headache for the first time in years. Throat wasn't sore. She didn't feel foggy and tired. I actually bounded out of bed, she recalled with a smile. Tom was making coffee in the kitchen and did a double take when he saw me. He said, "You look different." Different was an understatement. As the days passed, Martha's energy levels improved dramatically. The afternoon naps that had become routine were no longer necessary. Her mood improved. She even noticed that her blood pressure, which had been creeping up over the years, started to stabilize. But the most significant change was happening in their relationship. After about a month, I asked Tom if he wanted to try sleeping in our bedroom again, Martha said. He looked so nervous. I laughed and told him the CPAP machine makes a little white noise, but I promise I'm not snoring anymore. That first night back together was awkward. Tom admitted he kept waiting for the snoring to start. Martha felt self-conscious about wearing the mask. But they made it through the night together in the same bed for the first time in almost a year. I woke up and just watched her sleeping, Tom told me, his eyes misting slightly. The mask looked a little strange, sure. But she was sleeping peacefully. No gasping, no choking. Sounds, no snoring. Just peace. And I realized how much I'd missed being next to her. For Martha, the emotional impact was just as powerful. Having him back in our bed made me feel whole again, she said. Like we were a real couple, not just two people sharing a house. I hadn't realized how much that separation had affected me until we were back together. This was the turning point. Not just in their sleep quality, but in their marriage. While the CPAP machine made the biggest difference for Martha, the couple didn't stop there. They learned that managing sleep apnea and snoring is often most effective with a multifaceted approach. Martha's doctor recommended several lifestyle changes to complement the CPAP therapy. First, weight management. Martha had gained about 30 pounds since retirement, and while weight isn't the only factor in sleep apnea, it can contribute to it. Even a 10% reduction in weight can reduce the severity of sleep apnea in some people. We started taking daily walks together, Tom explained. Nothing extreme, just 30 minutes around the neighborhood after breakfast. And we started cooking healthier meals. It became something we did together, which made it feel less like a diet and more like a lifestyle change we were making as a team. Second, they addressed sleep position. Sleeping on your back can make snoring and apnea worse for many people. Martha started using a special pillow designed to encourage side sleeping. The pillow helped on the nights when I'd take off my CPAP mask without realizing it, Martha said. It wasn't a replacement for the CPAP, but it was a good backup strategy. Third, they established a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate your body's internal clock and can improve sleep quality. This was actually the hardest part for me, Tom admitted. I'd gotten into the habit of staying up late watching TV since I wasn't sharing a bedroom with Martha. Adjusting to a regular bedtime felt like being a kid again. But I noticed that I felt better when I stuck to the schedule. Fourth, they created a sleep-friendly environment. They invested in room-darkening curtains, kept the bedroom cool, and removed the TV from their bedroom. Our bedroom became a sanctuary, Martha said. Just for sleep and, well, for being a married couple again. The results of this holistic approach were significant. Within 6 months, Martha had lost 18 pounds. Her sleep apnea had improved from severe to moderate, allowing her CPAP pressure to be reduced. And most importantly, they were sleeping together every night. It wasn't just about the snoring anymore, Tom reflected. We realized we'd let our health habits slide after retirement. Addressing the sleep apnea forced us to look at our overall wellness, and we're both better for it. The improvements in Martha's sleep and their relationship had unexpected benefits that extended far beyond the bedroom. Their adult children noticed the difference immediately. Our youngest son came to visit and said we seemed like different people, Martha laughed. He said, "Dad's not grumpy anymore, and Mom, you're not falling asleep in the middle of conversations." Their social life improved too. Before treatment, Martha would often decline evening activities because she was too tired. Tom would make excuses to avoid overnight trips with friends because he was embarrassed about their sleeping arrangements. We started saying yes to things again, Tom said. Weekend trips with our RV club. Evening concerts in the park. Martha even joined a morning walking group, something she never would have had the energy for before. Their intimacy returned, and not just physical intimacy, but the emotional closeness that comes from sharing a bed, from pillow talk, from being the last person you see at night and the first person you see in the morning. There's something about whispering in the dark that makes it easier to say what's really on your mind, Martha reflected. We'd lost that for a while. Getting it back, well, it felt like falling in love all over again. Perhaps most significantly, Martha's health improvements extended beyond just feeling more rested. Her follow-up appointments showed reduced blood pressure, improved heart rate variability, better glucose control, reduced inflammation markers, improved cognitive function on memory tests. My doctor told me I'd probably added years to my life, Martha said soberly. And definitely added life to my years. That's when it hit me, this wasn't just about stopping snoring. This was about reclaiming my health and our future together. For Tom, there was an unexpected benefit too. Once Martha was treated, I realized that I'd been having some sleep issues of my own, he admitted. Not apnea, but definitely insomnia. I'd been blaming all my sleep problems on her snoring, but even after that was resolved, I still had trouble staying asleep. Tom eventually sought help for his insomnia and was treated with cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, a non-medication approach that helped him retrain his sleep habits. So it turns out we both needed help, he chuckled. Just in different ways. As I sat with Tom and Martha on their back porch, watching hummingbirds flit around the feeder they'd hung together, I asked them what advice they would give to other couples facing similar challenges. Martha didn't hesitate, "Don't wait as long as we did. Snoring isn't just an annoyance, it can be a sign of something serious. And don't be embarrassed to talk to your doctor about it. Sleep is as important as diet and exercise, maybe even more so." Tom nodded in agreement. And for the partners, try to be patient. Remember that the person snoring isn't doing it on purpose. They're suffering too, maybe even more than you are, because their body isn't getting the oxygen and rest it needs. They both emphasized the importance of approaching the problem as a team. This wasn't Martha's problem that she needed to fix so Tom could sleep better, Martha explained. It was our problem that affected our relationship, our health, and our happiness. Treating it as a shared challenge made all the difference. Tom added a practical tip: record the snoring. Many people don't believe how bad it is until they hear it. There are even apps now that can record sleep sounds and tell you how severe the snoring is. That evidence can be really helpful when talking to a doctor, Martha laughed. Just maybe don't play the recording at full volume like Tom did. Nearly gave me a heart attack. Their final piece of advice was simple but powerful. Remember why you're doing this, Tom said, reaching for Martha's hand. It's not just about stopping an annoying sound. It's about health. It's about quality of life. And most importantly, it's about love. Because when you love someone, you want them to be healthy. You want them beside you for as long as possible. Martha squeezed his hand. And you want to be at your best for them too. Tom and Martha's story isn't unique. Millions of couples, especially in their retirement years, face challenges with snoring and sleep apnea. What is unique is how they approached it with persistence, teamwork, and a focus on the relationship, not just the symptom. Today, 2 years after Martha's diagnosis, they sleep side by side every night. The CPAP machine has become just another part of their bedtime routines. Their health has improved, their energy has returned, and their relationship is stronger than ever. We almost let snoring ruin 4 decades of marriage, Tom reflected. Looking back, it seems unbelievable. But when you're in it, when you're exhausted and frustrated and resentful, it doesn't seem trivial at all. Martha nodded. Sleep affects everything. How you feel, how you think, how you treat the people you love. Getting help didn't just stop my snoring, it gave us back our retirement years, the time we'd worked our whole lives to enjoy together. If you're watching this and recognizing your own situation in their story, please don't wait to get help. Talk to your doctor. Look into a sleep study. Consider the treatment options available. And remember that modern CPAP machines are quieter, more comfortable, and more effective than ever before. Your relationship deserves it. Your health demands it. And your future self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Sleep Well Senior for more content about sleep health in the retirement years. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. You might just be saving a relationship or even a life. And let us know in the comments if you've had your own experience with snoring, sleep apnea, or CPAP therapy. Your story might help someone else take that first step toward better sleep and better health. Until next time, sleep well, sleep together, and cherish every moment of the life you've worked so hard to build.